What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew L. Case. You are now tuned into the Middle Initial Podcast. Today is February 5th, 2024. I'm here with my co-hosts, as usual, Jude A. Jackson and Kevin A. Lewis. Jude is eager to say what's up. Say what's up to the people, Jude.
What's up, everyone? Hope things are going well. It's a nice February evening, and we're excited to be back with you guys. I'm excited. Very excited.
That is true. We weren't here last week. Took a little week off. Not really to talk about. Kev, what's going on?
I'm all right. I wouldn't classify myself as excited to be working with Jude again. But I'm good, man. I'm all right. I'm straight. How was your weekend, Father of the Year?
Weekend was good. I saw Madonna in concert. Got to see Madonna in concert. Got to see. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. I saw a couple of concerts.
Was that set up on purpose, or did you get tickets from somebody?
That was work. It was work related. Work related. So got to see Madonna perform, and yeah, first time seeing Madonna perform. And I'll say this: the whole bag.
It's been a while.
Hey man, hey, I just want to be known. His thoughts do not reflect mine. Like Jude could sink or somebody.
Listen, she's still trying to be sexy. She's still, kissing random people on stage. Like, well, not random. This was an artist she kissed on stage. Somebody else. I remember the Drake kiss. She kissed Drake. What was that? At the Grammy Awards, she had kissed Drake or something like that.
I don't recall.
I don't think he liked it. But dude, it was a girl on girl kiss, and
all right.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Wow.
But
fair.
Yeah,
fair. But I don't have anything to add. Fair.
But she's a great, for her age, she's a great performer. Can't move the way she probably wants to move, but great performer. So
well, yeah, she's like 97 years old. Yeah, I'm assuming she can't.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my weekend. Nothing really to I mean, I did see. Oh no, I'm lying. I don't know if it was this past Saturday, maybe it was. No, was it? When did the Knicks play the Heat? I did see the Knicks and Heat play as well.
That was that not last week?
I think it was maybe last week. Oh yeah, we were off. Yeah, we were off. Yeah, we were off. Yeah. So the time we were off, I did see the Knicks Heat.
Classic Knicks Heat.
Antoine was in the building, but I didn't get a chance to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely talked shit the whole way, though via text because we won. Part of the many bodies we caught. We're gonna get into that. Definitely.
Yeah. The next New York, go New York, go. Yeah.
And Kev being back as a fan, apparently.
Yeah. But ain't no apparently. I'm back, baby. I'm here. Ain't no apparently. I'm here. Believe it. I'm here.
Oh man. But yeah, that was my weekend. So let's start the show.
You are now tuned in to the Middle Initial Podcast, bitch. Now everybody pod nowadays, but it pays when you listen to Jude, Kevin, Case. And in case you missed it, get your spirits lifted. Man, New York's getting covered just to be specific. When the beast will kick it, you get back. Yeah, listen one time, I promise you come back. Now we switching up a topic, you know that we come pack. And I don't want to say it, but bitch, we want blacks. In fact, we need that. Cause ain't nobody talk like the boys. It don't matter who you like or employ. We've been the best for a minute. Big brains could've went to MIT. But we like talking shit. Here's the MIP.
Yes, sir. We're back after taking a little week sabbatical. Middle Show Podcast is sponsored by, drum roll please, W Energy. W Energy is a jitterless energy blend. Recently got sponsored. Link will be in a bio.
Go ahead, say it, Drew. Say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Jude has a new slogan. Go ahead. Let's see if we keep our sponsor. Go ahead, Jude.
Say it.
If you don't want to get dubbed, get a W.
There it goes. W Energy. Be better. There it goes.
Imagine. Just get a W. And everything will be good.
We are the New York Knicks. 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 Say go New York, go New York, go New York, go New York. The streak is over. It doesn't matter. We went 14-2 in January. 14-2 since the OG Anunoby trade. I believe after that we had won one more game. So we were like 15-2, and now we're like 15-3. Mm-hmm. In the past 18 games, the Knicks had willed themselves all the way up into the third seed until the loss to LA. Shorthanded Knicks, I should add, by the way. But it doesn't matter. The Garden is All right, we're gonna get into this part. The Garden is not exciting. Can I say this? The Garden is not exciting.
Wow. We're starting off with the negative. It's fire.
No. I'm just gonna state. It's a statement of fact.
It's not actually.
It's a statement of fact.
That quite literally cannot be a fact. It cannot be verifiably proven. That literally cannot be a fact. That's not how this works.
Listen, it's a fact.
I'm on Kev's side.
It's not though. Words mean shit. You can't just use words however the fuck you want to use them. I feel like Larry David right now. But whatever, keep going.
Do you want me to say the Garden is not as exciting as it appears to be, or it used
That's still
to be?
not a fact. None of it. You can say it's your opinion. Just give it, and we can move on.
The Garden is, and I'm gonna say why it's a fact. I work at the Garden.
Flex.
And I've been at a Rangers game, I've been at the Knicks game. The Rangers have season ticket holders. They don't have tourists coming in to watch hockey. The fans that are there are their fans. On the other hand, the Knicks games that I've attended as a non-worker and as a worker at the Garden, it's not exciting anymore. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because
wait. First of all, before you continue, sorry to cut you off. What the sample size is? What here? 2 games?
I'll say that my personal sample size from in between last year and this year, I'll say it's eight games.
Okay,
8 games.
Good.
But I asked. I said, "Hey man, is it me or does it feel like it's not, loud enough, crazy? Like Knicks are really good right now." And they told me these are tourists. They're not Knicks fans. A lot of them. I don't know what the percentages are, but I will say this much: are there pockets of the Garden where it's like, the crowd is into it? Yes. Are there a lot more pockets where people are sitting down and they're not into the game? Absolutely. And it's not a knock against the Knicks. It's just if you go to the Knicks game and you expect people to be loud and boisterous, it's not going to be what you expect. If you're a diehard Knicks fan, if you're a basketball fan as well, but it's still the Garden. It's packed up, everything like that. I'm not saying the Garden is boring, but it's just not as exciting as it used to be. And maybe they feed in crowd noise on TV, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you could hear the person next to you talk. It's not that crazy, depending on where you at, depending on the section.
Let's see.
I only say that to say because I need more people. Come on down. I know tickets are expensive. Get some nosebleeds. Yeah, the Lakers tickets were like $320 for nosebleeds. Like it was ridiculous.
Just to breathe.
Just to breathe.
Just to breathe.
It's really
outrageous.
It's really expensive. But no, for real, I'm being for real. Like it's I've been there. Like it's not that like what I expected sometimes. And the thing also, I think you said it before, watching a game with the not the pumped in noise, but with the announcers and stuff like that going, it just gives a different feel. Like you pretty much are just play by playing it yourself. The game, like you got to pay attention who's on the court, what's going on. You're not going to hear any real explanations of anything outside of what the referee's instructions are. But yeah, you really got to be tuned in. I think that's the key. Go ahead, Jude.
I will say I'm looking at the prices right now. Just see Celtics at Knicks is like $285 just to exist in the building, pretty much. Like it's probably even less than that, but it's probably going to be like 170, 180 just to get to the building to $280. So it's like fans are getting priced out. It's been that way for several years now. It's going to be that way as long as the Knicks play at Madison Square Garden. Just is what it is. If you are a diehard Knicks fan and you want to go to a Game 7, you're probably going to have to be prepared to pay like $1,000 just to exist.
$500, bro. You run up to the Garden and go in there and ask them what $500 will get you, and you know what they're going to tell you? The fuck out. That's what they're going to get you. The fuck out.
It's sad because that 14-win January was tied for 1994. 1994 was the last time the Knicks had a 14-win month, and 1994 was the last time the Knicks went to the finals. Now, I'm not that type of fan to get ahead of myself and say the Knicks are going to the finals.
I'll do that for you.
Yeah, Kev.
Oh, you want me to do that? Okay, I'm not guaranteeing nothing. I don't make guarantees. That's just not my jam. What I will say for the Knicks is let's just assume good enough health for the moment, right? Because obviously, like what we see from the Knicks now is not going to be them at full health. If the Knicks get one more guard who could create a shot for other people, like just a good one, but hell, an average one, an above average one, anything, right? I think they stack up with everybody in the East. I think that's a fair thing to say. Yes, it's tepid. I don't care. They stack up with everybody else in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics, good as they are, I think they're one of those teams that just misses something. They miss something. The Bucks are coached by Doc Rivers.
Oh, we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
The Sixers. I mean, NBA. We don't know when he's gonna play basketball again. God forbid. Like, sorry that happened to that man, but you know what it is. Yeah. Am I supposed to be scared of the Heat? I mean, well, every fucking April, them dudes all of them start shooting like Steph Curry collectively. So maybe I should be. But as of now, like they don't move me in that kind of way. So it's just they get another good guard who can create for himself and other people. Mm-hmm. I'm begging them to just get Malcolm Brogdon. It should not cost you that much. Yes, the durability is an issue. Don't really care that much. That's baked into the cost. Go get him. Let him lead your second unit. Stagger the minutes however you see fit, whatever, and let's go. I think the window for them to do something is wide open because the NBA is kind of wide open. Like, yes, the Nuggets kind of deserve the credit because they can just turn up on it whenever they want. They just won a title. They deserve that love. Everybody else is beatable. There's a lot of good teams. There aren't a lot of great ones, and then there's a lot of just these teams aren't that good. The Knicks have a chance to do the window's wide open for them to do something in one of the more random NBA seasons in recent memory. So they should go try and do it. I think they can.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think OG. I remember the whole OG Anunoby trade. A lot of people were melting down about, oh my God, RJ Barrett. Oh my God, Emmanuel Quickly. But I think the importance of someone who's good at. I mean, this is super cliche, takes super casual. Importance of someone who's good at playing defense can't be overstated. Yes, OG isn't going to go off for like 30, 40 points, but he's probably good at defending the other guy's best player.
Not probably. He's extremely good at defending other people. Yeah,
he's the definition of like a defensive player of the year candidate. In the games that he's played, the Knicks, he's plus 25 average.
And that's part of the reason that I'm back on the bandwagon, baby. They got the quintessence. Like OG was the type of nigga I grew up on. Like he's better than those dudes, like at defending, but just gritty, hard nosed, plays defense, does a lot of things well. Like he's not gonna go out there and get you 28 when you want it. Fine, he doesn't have to. Like if he's gonna give you 17 and shoot a few threes and defend like his rent is due every night, sign me up. Like that's like when they traded for him, I was like, I get people. I like Quickly too, and I wasn't but into the Knicks at that point like that. I like Quickly too. I get the appeal. You had to give up something to upgrade from RJ to OG, and now that RJ's off the team and out of New York, I can stop lying because since he's Jamaican and all that, I can stop lying. RJ's not good at basketball. Like he's just not. He's not. He's fine. He's a competent, I guess, NBA player who half the time, if you're not watching enough, you would forget he was on the court. Like that's just the kind of player he is. He's okay. He's cool. OG is one of the best defensive players in the sport. And also shoots like 45% from corner three, like 40 overall from three.
He is essential 3-and-D.
Yeah, he is what you want in this modern era. And he doesn't need the ball to pound it into the ground to succeed. Like just I'll take my open threes. I'll create when he asks me to when it's needed, low on the shot clock, that kind of stuff. And I'll defend my fucking ass off. So
go
ahead.
I have a question. It feels like it feels like every week or so, some random pundit is disrespecting Jalen Brunson. Like, is that just because he's a New York Knick, or is it just because he just doesn't fit the mold?
How are we defining disrespect?
His game. They really okay.
Maybe not disrespect, but they don't give him enough credit. I should say.
No. It's disrespect. Candace Parker says, "Oh, he disappeared in the second round of the playoffs."
I don't even think that was disrespectful. I just think she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about.
I mean, it's kind of disrespectful to talk about something you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like if we're going to knock NBA dudes,
we're talking about TNT. They do that every night,
right?
And I could rant about this, but like they got a whole segment making fun of the fact that they don't know NBA players. A segment on an NBA syndicated show about them not knowing players and making fun of it. I'm not watching inside the NBA for fucking X's and O's. So I'm not one of those going to sit there and cry and make us think about it. I just don't care to watch the show that much. Whatever comes from it that's hilarious hits Twitter anyway. So I just look at it that way. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying that to answer Jude's question, just if an NBA dude like Michael Porter Jr. said some weird shit, right, about the NBA, and they roasted him, rightfully so. Same thing applies. If a WNBA player says some ridiculous shit, they should be roasted about it, right? The thing about Brunson, though, and I'm boiling down to this: people don't like guards, right? And hear me out before I say this. There are a few guards that people like. The type of guards that people like. So you like Kyrie because he can handle the ball. You like Steph Curry because he can shoot the ball. You like Westbrook because he's athletic, right? And then you maybe like Trae Young because he can shoot the three and he's kind of like, annoying. But outside of that, people don't like guards. And people don't like undersized guards. And I'm going to say, quote, undersized.
I think that is more apt to the point than they don't like guards. But yeah.
Because they'll say something like, oh, he's too little to be a superstar. I forgot who said it. He's too small to be a superstar.
Becky Hammond.
Right, Becky Hammond.
But like she wasn't, and those comments got taken way out of, because it's like, all right, we could just simply look at the history of the NBA. When you're that fucking small, it is hard to win with that guy as your best player. Like Steph is different because Steph could shoot from the fucking parking lot. So Steph, it doesn't fucking matter to Steph, obviously. And the attention that he draws makes life easier for everybody else. But now it's like Jalen Brunson. Hell, the fourth quarter against the Lakers kind of sums it up. Now, again, they were shorthanded. I'm not trying to make this some broader point, but if you're 6'2" and the entire defense is like, you are not going to beat us. Bro, it's hard to fucking win that way. It's really fucking hard.
Right.
So it wasn't some slight to him. My problem with it is it's a boring point. We know. Like most of us who watch the fucking NBA, we know. Like nobody expected the Knicks to be in title contention when this year started, did they? And this was before the OG trade. So this is not even, they were like 500 and like the 5 seed or whatever it was. And we're talking about, well, what could they do to actually get to championship contention? Bro, they weren't in championship contention to begin with. Like, you don't have a better point to talk. They're playing hard. They're a good fucking story. They got good players. The coach is doing a good job. There's so many different angles to point to. And I'll talk about this later when we talk about load management and all this. But we want to just focus on can they win a championship? Yes or no? Is this player Michael Jordan? Yes or no? Like that's NBA TV at this point. Like that's the television. That's the shit that you get on TV at this point. Can you win a championship? Yes, no. Are you MJ? Yes, no. That's it.
Right. There's no nuance. That's pretty much there's no nuance. So if the disrespect comes from a lack of nuance, Jalen Brunson's too small to be a superstar. That's not true. We have superstar guards before. Now, it sounds like they're trying to compare them to Thomas instead of comparing them to Isaiah Thomas, the other Isaiah Thomas. Like they're comparing to the small Isaiah Thomas, who's like 5'10", and not the 6'2", 6'3" Isaiah Thomas, right? If you're going to make these, I guess, definitive comparisons as far as like, oh, someone's being too small or undersized, or he's not Steph Curry, he don't shoot and spread the floor, you're missing everything else. Brunson has Hakeem Olajuwon footwork. I'm going to say this again, and I don't give a fuck how anybody feels. Jalen Brunson has Hakeem Olajuwon footwork. He gets into the post, he gets on his pivot, he pump fakes, he spins, he jab steps up and under, he goes through. He has Olajuwon footwork. He has bodied other guards his height that he felt like he deemed too small because he's strong enough to post up. There are differences and nuances in Jalen Brunson's game that sets him apart from other guards. That is the major difference. The man could get to a spot. His floater is, I think his floater is like a 67%. His floater is like the
he takes like the third most floaters or something like that.
Right.
I can't remember what it was. He
floaters, layups, mid-range, 3-point shooters. He has a fucking bag.
He's wildly skilled.
If you watch basketball, you're a basketball person. There's no way you look at Brunson and say he can't be a superstar. Now, to Kev's point, the Lakers double teamed him 30 times.
Yep.
30 times. Now, here's the thing about that. It's so interesting. White Dante, who I think he made like 5 or 6 threes that night, right? Yeah. He went absolutely cold the rest of the night. Grimes couldn't hit nothing. Josh Hart loved him.
Grimes didn't play.
Sorry, Grimes. I mean, McBride could hit nothing. Josh Hart, love him. He can't shoot threes, right? If the Knicks had Grimes or OG, they win the game going away. It's just one person need to make a basket. The person that you want to make a basket, your guy, is getting double teamed for 30 fucking plays. Now, if he was 6'8", would he not get double teamed 30? Yes, he probably still get double teamed because no one else was scoring. They're daring other people to score. The Knicks went 6 minutes and 47 seconds without scoring.
Yeah, they went
ice cold.
Yep.
And that's after winning 9 in a row. That's after going 15-2. Like, I'm not looking at the Lakers game like, oh man, it was a tough loss. Nigga, it is what it is, bro. At that point,
they were gonna lose another game.
You're going to lose a fucking another game.
Or the people who were thinking they were going to go undefeated.
Like, there wasn't shit to take from that loss except the Lakers put together a smart. Well, I can't even say smart, an obvious game plan. Especially in the fourth quarter, just like, listen, man. All right, you done scored 30 points. Somebody else got to do it. Like, if Dante wants to send us home with an L, fine. If Josh Hart wants to send us home with an L, fine. Precious Achiuwa wants to send us home with an L, fine. It ain't gonna be 11 though. That's what I think. It ain't gonna be 11. It's not gonna be him. He's not gonna do it. So yeah.
So but you can't tell me you watch ball and look at Brunson and be like, this kid can't be a superstar. This kid can't. There's no fucking way. He has changed the Knicks for the better.
And also, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and he compliments a guy like Randall, and I'm gonna use the word compliment lightly, because Randall is still inept in the playoffs. But during the regular season, he compliments Randall very well. Okay.
Right. And also the thing with Brunson, while I don't necessarily agree with the commentary, I haven't. Let me start by saying I haven't seen all the commentary. I've seen like the main viral ones. So like I've seen those. I haven't really seen all the commentary. I don't necessarily think he's being disrespected. Now, if one wants to say he's underrated, fine. Like, be my guest. He is, I think. I also think it's one of those things where people are kind of slow to react to things. And Jalen was a role player. Well, I'm sorry, a bench player in specific for the Mavericks for however many years. He's been at or close to his level for a year and a half. So he's not the household name yet. So, like, he's not going to get the household name kind of coverage in some cases, not all cases. It kind of reminds me of what they're doing on Brock Purdy, pretty much on both ends of the stick. Like, and I'm not saying that this is apples to apples comp, but it's like if Brock Purdy was picked in the first round, we're not talking about him in this way, but both sides. And it's ridiculous that we're talking about this negative. It's like, oh well, how come Brock Purdy? Like, y'all do realize that Brock Purdy was picked last in the draft. He's 2 years in, right? Like, you realize that holding him to the standard that you're holding Patrick Mahomes with doesn't make any sense, right? Like, yes, he has good players around him and game manager this and game changer, fine. He's in the second year in the league. He was picked last in the fucking draft. But, and it's, to me, it's quite clear that the guy is good. Do I think that? I think the people on both sides of the debate are smoking rocks. Like, the extreme both sides of the debate, I think they're all smoking fucking rocks. The guy is clearly fucking good, but it's like, oh, he was picked in the 7th round. How good can he really be? Watch the games, watch the tape. I don't know what to tell you. Like, oh well, Jimmy did the same things in the same offense. No, he didn't actually. Like his number, the offensive numbers went up across the fucking board with Brock Purdy in there, and Brock Purdy is willing to make intermediate throws that Jimmy Garoppolo could only dream of making. So let's not. But yeah, Jalen. If Jalen was starting in Dallas and putting up 20, 24, 23 a night. And then for some, let's say he got traded to the Knicks instead of signing for an undervalued deal, we're not having this conversation. Like they would have come around on him a long time ago. We saw the same thing play out with James Harden. It took people a few years to just admit, like, all right, this nigga is just that guy. He's that guy. And I understand sample size, I get it. But bro, just what, like, Jalen Brunson is not going to forget how to shoot anytime soon. He's not going to forget his magical footwork anytime soon. He's just this guy.
That's definitely true. More news around the NBA. Where do we begin? Let's start with the whole. We didn't get to talk about this when it first happened. Let's start with the whole Milwaukee Bucks firing Adrian Griffin and hiring the consultant Doc Rivers.
Little finger Doc Rivers.
Like, all right. I know people. We all know Doc's MO, right? Great regular season dude. Can't get done in playoffs. Only got it done one time with the Celtics, and I think they said he went to like every game 7
every year. 7 games every series.
Yeah. So it's like everything
except the finals.
Except for the finals, yeah. It was, and he got another 60-win season out of them. They started trying to build around Rondo. He ended up, they ended up getting rid of him. I think he goes to where did he go
LA.
to? LA to the Clippers. With Chris Paul and stuff like that. Couldn't get past the second round, I believe. And then he where he went after that, it was
the Clippers. Did he coach anywhere after the Clippers?
I'm trying to think if he coached someplace else, but
the Sixers.
Oh yeah, right.
Sixers.
Sorry, I totally forgot about that. Sorry,
Sixers. Yeah, Sixers again.
Sixers.
I don't think Doc Rivers is a bad coach, personally. I think he's a lucky coach because he gets to go to these teams with full of talent.
Lucky ain't the fucking word, but go ahead, man. Go ahead.
But I also think outside of the Boston situation, the team he's going to has had questionable superstar talent, right? The Clippers, Chris Paul, coach Chris Paul, who's never been nowhere, right? At that time, like he's never been nowhere outside of maybe Western Conference Finals. And then, of course, it's Blake Griffin, and it's a bunch of guys who could dunk and not enough shooters, right? And not enough.
That Clippers team is so overrated, and I was saying this at the time too. It's like, oh, how come we ain't win a championship? Like, what? Like, bro, they have like 3 people who can shoot, bro.
Right.
And their best player is 5'10". What are we talking about?
Like the Sixers situation, you got a guy in Embiid who we'll talk about in this segment as well, who has all the talent, but sometimes he feels like an African Dwight Howard, bro. There's something wrong with him mentally. Something's wrong with him mentally.
Hey, man, I don't remember Dwight Howard folding in the playoffs every fucking year, but carry on.
But that's why I say mentally. I'm not talking about like I think mentally sometimes like he's off. Like he's kind of weird. He's kind of weird.
Didn't Jimmy Butler call him out, or would they call it Ben Simmons? He called out one of those two guys.
It was Ben Simmons, if you believe all the back channel sources talking about that. Yeah,
right.
It was Ben Simmons.
But it's like Doc Rivers has had questionable things. Now you go to Milwaukee, right? This situation is so fucked up because the dude Adrian Griffin is his first year as a coach. The Bucks are in second place. They have like 30-something wins. It's not like they're like struggling at all. I guess defensively. Now, the only thing that changed for the Bucks was what? And I'm gonna let Kev answer. What's the only thing that changed for the Bucks?
They traded for Dame. They added Dame and they lost Drew Holiday. So your defense was going to get worse.
You added a addition by
and I think they lost Grayson Allen. Yeah, they lost Grayson Allen. And Grayson Allen, say whatever you want about his Ted Cruz ass face. Like he can actually defend people.
He could, So you leveraged your defense for offense.
More offense, yep.
And you're scoring. You're just giving up 120 points. You're scoring 125. You give it up 120. What the fuck is Doc Rivers fixing? Nothing. He's appeasing a superstar. In situations like this, especially NBA, you would think, hey, if I like to coach and the team likes to coach, then we're going to play better. The Bucks went and lost the first 2 games that he coached. And then I think this is when
they lost last night too, and they had like a 15-point lead in the fourth, and
they're 1-3 since he's become coach.
NBA coaching is so weird because like you'll see the Bucks were like what, the best team or second best team in the NBA period, weren't they? They were like
second best team.
They were up there. It was
like
second
maybe
or
third or fourth.
They were up there.
And the guy's fired. It's like NBA is crazy. Like your job's never safe. If you get fired with that kind of resume, your job's just never safe as an NBA coach.
I will say this. NBA coaches in general are mostly just replaceable. Now, there probably is a happy medium with the type of shit that the NFL does and what the NBA does, where the NBA will literally fire you at the drop of a pin, and the NFL is just like, even after it's clear, like, yo, this guy ain't it. They're just gonna keep bringing back the like. There's probably a happy medium there somewhere. I lean on the NBA side of the scale because realistically, look, the NBA is about talent. If you ain't got talent, I mean. Every sport's about talent, but you know what I mean. Like the NBA, you need the top end talent to win championships. In a way that the NFL, like if you have Patrick Mahomes, if you have Tom Brady, you could skate by at certain spots, whatever. The NBA, you need fucking top end talent to win at a high level. Now, here's the thing with the Doc Rivers thing that's fucking weird: is they fired Mike Budenholzer, right? Not too long ago, and I thought Mike Budenholzer was a fine coach who did a lot of weird shit come playoff time. Does that sound familiar? You fired Mike Budenholzer because of playoff performance, because they got smoked by the 8 seed, right? Which Miami couldn't feel their face from 3 for like 3 months. So I don't holding that against him is kind of weird. But whatever, you're the 1 seed, you got fired. I can't say what I just said and be like, you can't fire Mike Budenholzer after losing to an 8 seed. Can't do both those things. You want to fire him, fine. Then you hired a rookie coach. Mistake number 1. Because it's not hiring a rookie coach is fine in a vacuum. If you are a championship contender, you should not have a rookie coach. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you have. We saw this fucking song and dance with David Blatt. LeBron treated that man like a towel boy for a year and a half, and then he fired his ass. And then won a chip right after that, right? Like, we saw this. But you're telling me that you then fire the rookie coach because if you believe, like the Bucks fans, I follow a few of them, the team hated him, right? And the defense went into the pits. Now I don't know what they expected with that personnel, but I just don't understand how you fire a coach because of player performance. You hire a rookie coach, and then your solution to all of this, because again you fired a guy because of playoff performance, was then to hire the guy who probably has blown more talent than anybody in league history. And I say that with saying that the Clippers were overrated. There's some flaws with the team that he coached. But the bottom line is his resume says what the fuck it says. And nobody's blown more 3-1 leads in history than Doc Rivers. Not a soul. Nobody has. So I'm just not sure how this is the logical conclusion. I don't really give a fuck that they fired Adrian Griffin. They see him every day. If they think he ain't it, I'm led to believe that he's not it. And in the NBA more than any other sport, how much your players like your coach fucking matters. Because for the most part, them dudes are replaceable. They don't want to work for somebody they don't fucking like. Nobody wants to work for somebody that they don't like. Obviously, most of us have to, but in NBA, you don't. Like Adrian Griffin, like, bro, we can find anybody to be Adrian fucking Griffin if we want. Which is why you don't hire a rookie coach on a team where you're trying to win a chip. You just don't. It's not good. It's not good practice. It's not.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and I think you made a great point. That I mean, I honestly I follow the NBA casually somewhat, but I can't tell you more than like 4 or 5 NBA head coaches. And I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. I couldn't pick them out of a lineup, and it's just like, yeah, and it's pretty much like you said, if you have the talent, you're expected to win. And Adrian Griffin had the talent, and he won. That's the crazy thing. He had the talent, and he won. It's not like he underachieved. He literally just he won. They just didn't like him. And
they don't
that's
like
just how it goes sometimes.
It matters.
Yeah, that's
how it matters.
It's the dumbest shit ever. Because to Kev's point, right? Remember when they fired Stan Van Gundy and he brought in Spoelstra? Spoelstra was a rookie head coach. And it didn't seem like it was going to work, but look, he's still coach. 2 championships later,
like 16 years later,
yeah, still coach. And he's been in 2 more finals without the best player in the world. You know what I mean? The big 3, whatever, right? Michael Jordan loved Doug Collins. Yeah, when Krause said, beat it, you know what I mean? We're going to hire somebody else. He was pissed. They brought in Phil Jackson 6 rings later. You know what I mean? I think it works in multiple ways. I think sometimes NBA players are spoiled and entitled, and they just want things to go their way. And also think that sometimes the GM knows best, especially if the GM's a basketball guy, right? You know, the thing, not to be like a revisionist about history, right? We all know Jordan didn't like Krause and stuff like that. If you watch The Last Dance, you've seen the stories and everything like that. Krause was fucking right. And I would say at least 85 to 90% of the time, outside of breaking up the whole team. The man wanted to bring in Tracy McGrady to replace Scottie Pippen. He wasn't wrong. Like, he wasn't fucking wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what he wanted to do. And Jordan,
you don't win 6 chips. I don't care who you have. I don't care who. Like, you don't win 6 chips not by not knowing what the fuck you're doing. 1, and being right far more often than you're wrong. 2. Right. You just don't.
Right. So it's like I think there's examples for different times in the league. Some coaches don't know shit. Some GMs know better than others. Whatever. But in this situation with the Bucks, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. You have Giannis, who's like the MVP the year before. You know what I mean? Definitely MVP candidate again this season.
Mhm.
You broke up your defensive core to get Damian Lillard, and then you said, "Well, we're gonna," like you said, you fired Budenholzer, and then now you have a rookie coach. What do you expect? You even let him. And the funny thing is, if you started 20-17, I would understand if it was a slow start and you were given the same amount of points. But you're like 15, 16 games over 500, and now with Doc Rivers, who was a consultant, by the way, and we even get into that. Did Doc Rivers dirty Mac his way back into coaching?
Probably.
Of course.
Of course.
Baby, you know he can't do it like that.
He can't. I got a ring.
You know he can't. Baby,
I got a ring.
You know he can't do it like that.
He don't got a ring.
Let me show you, baby.
He's new to this. I'm true to this.
Fuck out of here, dog. Listen, man. It's clear. It's clear that they fired dude for non-basketball reasons. That is 1,000% clear. Couldn't be more clear if you tried. Now, Doc getting the job, especially given that he was the consultant to begin with, is really fucking funny. And Doc keeps falling into these jobs, and it's like, I'm not going to talk too much shit because a black dude getting jobs that he don't really deserve. I'm just not here. And it's February. I'm not here to talk too much shit. I'm not. A black dude filling up like, hey man, do you, baby? Hey, you got it. It's about time. It's one of us.
Right, but to another black dude, if he did it to a white dude, I would have respected it more. He did it to
he's done it to a lot of people. That's the thing. He didn't feel it before this. This is his jam. Doc is gonna find his way into coaching some Hall of Famers. It don't matter how it gets done. The bottom line, when you look up, Doc gonna be coaching some Hall of Famers. Just give him time.
That's true. He finds a way. He somehow finds a way.
He finds a way, man.
I hope he finds a way to teach him how to play defense because, boy, speaking of
them boys, gotta make a trade or two, man, because they don't have it, and they're old and slow. On top of that, and
he just got Middleton back, and he's not. I mean, he's not really making much of a difference. But speaking of defense, there is none in the NBA. There is none, and like a woman in the boudoir with an undersized man. Where's the D? Where is the D? There is no D.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. But to get away from this topic quickly and to ask where's the D, I don't know because I mean, you know what? I will be fair and say just from box score watching, it feels like a lot of the lack of defense is coming from bad teams. So like the Spurs are probably one of the teams getting up to 60 plus. The Hawks, Hornets, teams you kind of expect. Pacers, they're a good team, but they have a bad defense. I haven't really seen like any great defenses just randomly give up 60 or 70. It's usually just a super bad defense, and it's just. Don't you have some pride after a while? Like a guy is scoring 35. Aren't you?
Them checks are still clear. They don't give a fuck.
Them checks are still clear.
The Spurs have like 6 wins. You think they give a fuck? Them checks is clearing, bro.
If anyone's like, hey, maybe we should just try to hold him at 40 or 50. Let's not let him go off. And they're just like, nope. Three. It's like, what the fuck?
With the new rules, right? And I don't even want to make this an old school versus new school thing. Right, because guys went off back in the day too. I think Jordan had a career high of 69. Of course, the Will Chamberlain 100.
Considerably worse.
You know what I mean?
So
David Robinson 73 and stuff like that. Guys have gone off. Nothing of the same shit though. You can't get hit hard for going off on nobody, right? But Embiid and Cat both having 60-point games, and we were recording the podcast when it happened, right? And then Luka follows up with what he had. I think
73.
73.
Yes,
was it 73?
Yeah.
I think it was 73.
Yeah, it was 73. Yeah.
Okay.
And we know Devin, which he tied Devin Booker, who had 73 the year before, right? And then we had the obscure 50-point game some years. Like there's someone's going to score 100. I don't know who. I don't know when. Someone's going to score 100.
Nobody's scoring 100 points, man.
Hold on. Hear me out.
Nobody's scoring 100 points. Go ahead.
I think the reason why I think someone is going to score 100, right? Because when Kobe scored the 81, we thought that was far-fetched. The performances these guys are putting up now are better than Kobe's. They're just not scoring 81. Like Joel Embiid, he's 70 points, right? 1-3 made. That's impressive, right? Luka 73, Booker 73. Not the same output as Kobe, but still better, like better performances.
Oh, Luka's game was better than Kobe's,
right?
Like, for example, but like Embiid's was impressive too. I don't have much of an opinion with the comparison. The thing with the Kobe game was, and I'll say it since nobody else will. I'll say it. The way the Toronto Raptors played defense that game was stupid. Like they were letting Kobe go single coverage against old ass Jalen Rose, and it like go rewatch the game. It wasn't like Kobe was out here taking shots over 2-3 people all the time.
No, it was one-on-one.
And I'm not criticizing him or trying to undermine what it is to score 81 points and 46 shots. I'm not that big a hater. Okay, it's impressive regardless of who the fuck is guarding you. All I'm saying is, eventually, at least, the Hawks, once the fourth quarter started sending double team at Luka Doncic. Yes, it was after he scored 60-something points already. Understood. Better than what the Raptors were doing. The Raptors were just like, hey, man, I got nothing. I got no answers. I don't know. You might want to send 2 people at him. I don't know. Just a fucking thought. You might want to send 2 people at him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, after a guy gets, like, maybe 75 and it's still early, like, it requires a perfect set of circumstances to get to 100. A, the other defense has to be so fucking bad. And B, their offense has to be just as good as how bad their defense is.
And quite frankly, it's probably going to take an overtime or 2 to do it, too. Like, on top of everything else.
Well, I mean, Steph Curry scored 60 in overtime and lost the other night, right? And Golden State has been bad. Like, that's a franchise that got to look at themselves like, all right, this is done. Like, this is done. It's whatever. We're wasting whatever Curry has left. Like we had high draft picks. We traded those dudes. They didn't pan out. We got Draymond Green still smacking niggas in the face, and Klay Thompson just can't shoot anymore. He's broken down. They need to fix that situation. But still, the guys are going off. I think the perfect situation would be, and this is like an NBA 2K mentality. If you could score 50 something in the first half, right, and the game is close, like the Jude said, like a high scoring game, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
That's the perfect storm. It has to be a close game. I think we scored 100. They said it was a blowout, but I think it was close until the fourth quarter. Then it got out of hand or whatever. But it has to. The factors have to be, the game has to be close, and it's so close you can't really one-on-one. You can't really double team that guy. You know what I mean? You might go into foul trouble, whatever. You got to keep your guy on offense, on the court, whatever. So it has to be like a perfect storm. But I don't think it's far-fetched. You know what I mean? With minutes and load management, what we're about to get into, maybe, but
I'll say this though about the defense. In a vacuum, if you want to talk about the defense in the current NBA is problematic, sure, because all of the rules benefit the offense, and the players are as talented as they've ever been, if not more so. Right now, where people lose me is where they start comparing it to the '90s. It's like, guys, number one, the offenses were extremely elementary in the '90s. Number two, there weren't a lot of skilled players on each team in the night. There was a lot of dudes who were there to be goons. A lot of dudes who weren't there to actually play basketball. No, seriously. Like they were there to regulate in the paint and clothesline people and this, that, and the fucking third. There's a reason that there's no goons on nobody's roster no more, because they actually have to be skilled to be on a roster to whatever degree, right? Okay. Now, the thing with it is, we see what the NBA looks, and this is why partially why I don't take regular season basketball seriously up until like April, because they don't let them play. Not every game, a lot of the games, especially when you get either one bad team or an average team or 2 average or bad teams, a lot of those games look like open run at the Y, because that's what the NBA wants in regular season basketball. Run up and down, shoot, have fun, high five each other, and go home. That's what the fuck they want, right? That's what they want. April comes around, they actually let niggas play basketball. Like they let you chuck people, they let you grab them off the ball, they let you do all of that kind of stuff, and it looks more like playoff basketball. Hence why I take it more seriously when it comes to that time of the year. And you don't see 140 to 138, right? You don't see 140 to 138 games in the playoffs. Like you might see one once in a while, but you typically don't see them because they don't. It ain't fucking open run at the Y. Like somebody coming off a screen, you could grab them. Like they let people get away with fucking contact. I mean, for like Warrior fans make Steph Curry the main character of everything, special ability by the way. But you look at how they referee him in the playoffs, and it's like, they let the Warriors get away with an obscene amount of moving screens. So it all cancels out in the end. But they let people grab. like the 2016 Cavs, their entire game plan in the finals was Steph is compromised already health-wise, right? Okay, we are going to fuck him up. He's coming off screens. We are going to fuck him up. We're going to grab. We're going to chuck.
The shoulder.
We dare you to call us every time down the fucking floor. And they didn't because they won't. That's how they referee in the playoffs. So the defense is what it is. The rules say what they say. Like, I also think a bit of the talk about the defense was disingenuous with regard to the high scoring outputs, because I didn't hear none of this shit when Joel Embiid did it. All of a sudden, Luka did it. Now, all of a sudden, like a week later, all of a sudden, now defense is league wide are an issue now.
No, wait a minute. Luka was basically power walking to the hoop. I don't know how much highlights he saw,
bro. That's one clip. Go look at the fucking 70 points he scored. There wasn't a lot of shit that nobody was doing with him that night.
I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't be stopped, but it was like Joel Embiid was playing.
There was one clip that featured an illegal screen, by the way, that they didn't call. That I saw replayed over and over. It's like, well, this is what y'all claim is better than the 90s. Like, I saw that shit 100 times. I'm like, I blocked so many people over it. I'm just like, block. I just don't want to. I don't want to see your stupid ass again. Block. It's an illegal screen. Number one. Yeah. Number two is one clip of a 70 fucking point game, bro. There was a lot of other points scored. Like, Luka made one shot behind the goddamn basket, falling out of bounds. What the fuck do you want him? What the fuck do you want the Hawks to do with that shit? Besides, get a sniper. What do you want them to do? What is the only thing you can do at that point? Get a sniper. Pay somebody. Eliminate the problem. Literally.
The contrast between those performances. Embiid just was bullying, and he got to the free throw line like how many times? And Luka was in his bag. Luka's in his Duffy. Right. You know, it happens. You know what I mean?
Now, I have a fun question for you. Where do you think, if it does eventually happen, the 100-point game happens? What court is it going to be at? I think it's just going to get mad. What court?
Oh, court.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like who against who?
Nah.
Yeah, like the Knicks.
Whatever court.
Yeah. I think it's going to be in Madison Square Garden. I just think it's going to be there.
No.
I mean, Jalen Brunson about to do it.
Jalen Brunson up the hundo. First of all, guys.
Then they'll say if he was 6'6", he would have gone for 115. But anyway, go ahead.
Right. First of all, we have to think who's going to score the 100. I think it's a better question. Who would score the 100? I think Luka would be the one to score the 100 or get as close. I think Luka might break Kobe's record, at least the modern day score record.
Please,
SG,
right?
Please, or SGA. I think I low key think SGA could be the one that does it too.
The thing with SGA is he doesn't shoot a lot of threes. That kind of works against him in this regard. But I mean, then again, Embiid again went for 70. He had
because people were saying Booker wasn't shooting a lot of threes. He shot a lot of threes last year, and he had that crazy game. Right. But I think Luka probably is the one who does. His game is ridiculous. His game is ridiculous, and when he's on fire, which he's been on fire a lot of times, it's crazy. I think if he does it, it happens in Phoenix because he hates Devin Booker. He hates Devin Booker. It's like the perfect storm. Like, oh, we both have the same career highs. He's just gonna come in there and say, "I'm gonna drop 80 on your ass," just to fuck with you, because for some reason you don't like each other. Makes for a great rivalry though. Moving on to the last NBA topic, the 65 game rule. People are okay, and when I say people, media. Shaq and whoever, people talking, Charles, everybody like, 65 game rule, blah, 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 blah. And, I guess the younger players are like, that's bullshit. Like Gilbert Arenas, who has, let me say something. And I don't know Gilbert Arenas personally. I'm not dissing underdog. I'm not dissing underdog fantasy network. I know Kev works.
That's my colleague you're talking about.
I've never seen someone say so much wrong shit.
Jesus Christ.
And people just shout out to Rashad McCants for having the guts to go against half of the shit that Gilby's saying. Because sometimes I'm not listen.
Hey man, you lost me when you give props to
I'm not saying he's right. I said just going against the shit that
but then nobody checks him for his goofy ass shit either. So
no, listen, this all I'm saying is there needs to be an antithesis. And sometimes it's Kenny Martin, sorry. And sometimes Kenny Martin just, I look at him, he's just looking at him like, yeah, okay. He doesn't want to say something. Sometimes Kenny goes off on the nigga like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about, Gil? And I say this to say, he was saying, "Oh, it's about the MVP is about money and this and the third, blah blah blah." And I get that portion, right? I get that, and it's I forgot exactly what he said, but it was just something that kind of rubbed me. It felt so stupid to me. I gotta go back and look, but the 65 game rule is fair to me. It's fair. If you can't play more than 65 games, why should you be MVP? I know what it was. He said to fix it, it should be the person who scores the most points and not average, which I don't understand why he said that. Who scores the most points, right? I guess he's talking
about the scoring title.
I guess because I'm like, that's the MVP. Okay. He's like, so he said some shit about if Embiid is doing this but he don't have 2,000 points, and SGA got 2,000 points. That SGA should get it because he got 2,000 points. But I'm like, he said something to the effect of Embiid would have to work harder. You mean average 10 more points a game to score to match the output? Like it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like forget all that though. Right. But the point of the matter is, if you're not playing games, you're not available to play, load manager otherwise. You have how many games you could miss at max? Was it
17?
17 at max to miss.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think there should be an addendum to the rule. If you are hurt and you're placed on IR, that shouldn't count against you. I think that's about. And I'm not talking about a 4-week or whatever. I'm talking about like a 2-week IR. That shouldn't count against you. So if you finish with 64 games or 63 or 60 because you were in IR for 2 weeks or whatever, it shouldn't count against because you were in IR. I would say that much if you made an addendum to the rule. But for people to be upset that, that's not what you mean it's not fair. Y'all motherfuckers want to take off, then take off. You must not want the bag. Yo, if you play 65 games, you could have a chance to get MVP, and you win MVP, you get extra whatever $1 million. Then play 65 games. Right? That's just play 65. No one's telling you to play 72. Just play 65. You can't. People. What's the problem? Maybe someone sees it differently. Kev.
I think the rule is kind of goofy. I understand what they're trying to accomplish, right? Like Adam Silver's trying to bring the regular season back. He's trying to make it meaningful again. Whatever. I understand what they're trying to do, and I'm not even necessarily. I'm not saying the rule is unfair on its surface. Right now, them making this rule is like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Like it's just not going to do that much. Like it looks nice, I guess. It's not doing that much because realistically, 2 dudes in league history have won MVP playing less than 65 games. Like we already knew that. I don't even have a problem with that. They're just telling me the obvious. Fine. Mm-hmm. First, second, and third team having to play at least 65 games is goofy simply for this reason. You're not going to sit here and play in my face and tell me that whoever the 17th best player in the league is, pick one. Let's say Donovan Mitchell, for argument's sake. He plays 68 games. You're not going to tell, Donovan Mitchell probably making one of all three, the 3 All-NBA teams. But let's just go with it. You're not going to tell me that 68 games of him is worth more than 64 games of Luka. Like, it's insulting to my intelligence that you even bring that up. So, no, like, the first, second, and third teams being bound to that rule, to me, is silly. The MVP, it is what it is. They're not going to consider you if you play less than that anyway. So, like, that doesn't even need to be said. But I think the games played should be a factor while also not disqualifying somebody. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think if Steph Curry plays 64 games, especially given how fucking old he is, he should, and he's just one of the best guards on planet Earth. I don't think you should then tell me, okay, he can't be considered a top 15 player because, well, he just didn't play. He played 1 less game than he should have, or 3 less games than he should have. I think that's kind of ridiculous, personally. Now, the money reasons that people get, I mean, the game is the game on that. Like the players signed up for it, and realistically, the players been getting fucked in CBA negotiations for a long time. So whatever they do, what they do, they been getting big fucked. You're about to say some sick shit. Get it off. Go ahead.
Remember the first CBA shit they fucked themselves over with?
Which one?
It was the oh shit, what was it? It was the money, the contract thing. Remember the contract thing? The not this one that passed. Remember that was with Harden, but there was the other CBA thing they fucked themselves over, and people were like, "Yo, y'all signed up." I forgot which one it was. I think
But I remember the big thing was like they couldn't wait. They made the league the weed legal, and like they just couldn't look past that at all. I don't know if that was the same.
It was a contract thing. I don't remember, but the who was Chris Paul was the head of player or whatever, and then people you know what it was because everybody was pissed at Chris Paul. Like everybody was mad at him.
Yeah,
like,
I'd know it if you brought it up, but
bro, they're at the negotiation table, bro. Like you negotiated for this 65 game shit, like
yeah. I mean, like, and I personally think like the rest thing. Like I think they overreacted personally because I still don't think that many people were doing the whole rest business in an egregious fashion. And realistically, the bottom line is the cleaner fix is something they're never going to do. So they got to try other shit. The cleaner fix is either you play less games, which they're never going to do for money reasons, or you schedule the games further out so there's no fucking back-to-backs. They're not going to do either one of those things. So we're going to do stuff like this, and we're going to take quarter measures, and we're going to hope for the best. Like that's kind of what it is. I'm not tripping over the 65 game rule. It is what it is. I think it was goofy personally, but I understand the vision. I see what they're trying to accomplish.
Jude, you like to take games off.
Damn, I was not expecting that.
Because you know, Saturday comes and you disappear. You're not in Discord.
Damn, I'm not low managing. There's no low management for me.
Yes, there is. Jude be like, yo, it's Martin Luther King's birthday. Yo, Jude is kind of in the podcast. He's like, no, it's Martin Luther King's birthday, bro. Like, you have to work.
Right. Like, yeah. Like, I'm taking my federal holidays off.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right.
So
So you're a big advocate for load management, Jude. So I'm interested in hearing your argument.
Hey, I mean, they're taking PTO. They have the right. They're employees of an NBA franchise. They have the right to take PTO. And if they're taking PTO, good for them. Good for Kawhi. Good for Paul George. Take the PTO. Lately, you know who's
so stupid. Like, sorry to cut you off. It's just so dumb in general because he became like a face despite having a fucking degenerative. Anyway, go ahead.
But like this year, I'd say the low management winners are Boston and LA. Boston in particular, I feel like every back-to-back, Jason Tatum or one of them has the flu. Every back-to-back, one of them is going to have the flu.
Or they just send out a lineup. Like they did the Bucks game. They sent out everybody and just got absolutely ran off the floor and then didn't even bother to send their starters out for second. But keep going.
Yeah. And then what was it? The Lakers. What was it? They played against the Celtics too. Like you would think Lakers versus Celtics. The starters are coming out. Yep. They rest LeBron and AD's like
they still won the game. That's the fun part. But yeah.
It's like this is the new NBA. But hey, they're taking their PTO. They deserve their PTO.
And also. I mean, and sorry to cut you off, but
you're fine.
Listen, the thing with a lot of this discussion, and a lot of it, like when it comes down to it, makes me uncomfortable because some of it is gross. But I'm not going to get into the gross part. I don't want to make myself angry. A lot of it comes down to not a lot of it, but there's this annoying undercurrent of people comparing themselves to NBA players that drives me insane, buddy. You work at a hospital.
What do you mean?
You're not an NBA player. Stop. Like, oh well, I show up to work 85%. I don't care. You're not fucking Jason Tatum.
I show up to my Staples job all the time. If I could do that,
congratulations. Congratulations. They're like, oh well, if you show up to work. If I show up to work 77%, 85% of the time, you're going to tell me the guy who shows up 77% of the time is better than you. You tell me, is he better at his job? Is that person better at their job? Then yes, I will take the 77% of the guy who gives me 9 out of 10 level work instead of the fucking 85% guy who gives me 7.5 out of 10 level work. Y'all are not NBA. We do this all the time. Like, oh well, if you can't work 80% of the time, like what are we really doing, bro? Their job is not yours. They are stressed athletically, physically, obviously, to do what they do. And the type of running around NBA players have to do is way more than they used to have to do because offenses are way more advanced than they ever fucking were. But like, stop. Like, why do we pay these guys this much? And like teachers show up all the time. Bro, ain't nobody coming to watch Miss Dawn teach. Nobody coming to watch Miss Dawn teach. No disrespect. No disrespect. Nobody coming to watch Miss Dawn teach. Nobody coming to see the local nurse. Nobody coming to see them. Sorry. Like, they do great work and they deserve more pay. This is not about that, obviously. Y'all not NBA players. Y'all not NFL players. Y'all not MLB players. Like, Mike Trout is probably going to end up taking 40 days off this year for a variety of reasons. I ain't Mike Trout. So I'm not going to compare myself to Mike Trout because, well, I show up to work 90% of the time. Nobody gives a fuck how much I show up to work except my boss. Nobody cares.
People get PTO too. Like, most jobs, you're going to get some paid time off. It's not their fault.
And it's especially continuous because, like, you look at the NBA, and we cited this earlier with their programming. You look at the NBA and you look at the conversations had about the NBA from these same people. They pick and choose when the fuck the regular season matters, which irks the fuck out of me. James Harden's big ass has played 80 games basically every fucking year, despite looking like how he looks. He's played like 80 games every single fucking year. And you know why? And does he get any credit for it? No. You know why he doesn't get credit for being a great regular season player? Because his playoff resume stinks. I wonder. That's the point. That's the point. A lot of these dudes, a lot of these teams are resting these players for playoff reasons because we have decided as a collective that regular season doesn't fucking matter. That's why I can't be mad at Adam Silver for making this rule. He's trying to make the regular season matter again. The problem is the fucking toothpaste got pushed out of the fucking the fucking tube a long time ago, and it ain't going back in. Go ahead.
I will say, does anyone even care about NBA divisions? No one's wearing like I won the Southwest Division.
Bro, they stopped division shit how many years ago?
The rivalry in the NBA is a West Coast team versus the East Coast team.
They cut the division. Remember when the Bulls and the Knicks were fighting for the Atlantic? They cut that shit years ago. They was like, fuck this. Nobody cares about those. But they still get banners. They still get banners, but no one cares about that shit no more. Like, that shit is just passe.
Anybody care about that shit?
Yeah, same thing with hockey. Hockey went to whole Metropolitan League and all the other shit. Like, it's just something that.
And it's not MLB where you see them all the time.
Silver is trying to figure out how to make the NBA playing game a thing, right? And he's like, well, thinking about giving the winner of the playing game an automatic berth. Buddy, that is going to be terrible if that happens. Because there's going to be a team that wins the play-in, and it means nothing outside of, the 500,000 he was talking about. And they're not going to be a good team. And they're going to go to the playoffs because they won that stupid tournament. And if that was true, if that was true to this season, the Lakers automatically have a bid to the playoffs. And can you imagine? Listen, no, because it ties with the load management thing. Could you imagine if that reigns true and LeBron comes in? Oh, I want to be back-to-back playing champion. Yeah, bullshit. You want to play 40 games and be fresh for the playoffs. So you're gonna go hard when it's playing, so you could coast the rest of the fucking season. So if you don't want load management to be a problem, please make this playing tournament towards the end of the season and not in the middle of the season.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
and also I think a simpler fix, like with regard to load management, is this: you simply don't allow those dudes to sit road games. A lot of this fucking started because we were bitching about, what about little Timmy and the family of four who bought tickets and like, listen, I'll just go full curmudgeon. Fuck it, I'll go. If you buy tickets to an NBA game, you subject yourself to that shit. This is not a concert.
It's on the ticket. It's on every ticket. Concert tickets too, subject to change. It says it on every fucking ticket.
Right, but at least like if you buy a ticket expecting to see Lauryn Hill and you don't see Lauryn Hill at all, like I understand why you pissed off. Not granted, that's funny for reasons, but they're fine. I understand why you mad. Like again, Kawhi Leonard was the face of this shit, right?
Right.
You bought tickets expecting. I don't know how many people are buying tickets expecting.
But it wasn't really Kawhi. It was also Tim Duncan and them. Like it was really
right. But Kawhi was the main guy. But yes, the Spurs obviously started this, right?
Yeah, Greg.
But like, you buy tickets expecting to see Kawhi Leonard and you don't see him. Like, bro, that's on you. How bad am I supposed to fucking feel? Like,
bro, when they were interviewing the fans, like, man, I came over here to see Tim Duncan play, and I was like, really? At like 39? Like, shit. You didn't want to see him play when he was in his 20s? God damn. Like,
that's what happens.
Like Tim Duncan is like 37 years old on his last legs. Like, yo, I came here to see Tim Duncan.
And game time decisions are legitimately a thing. Like this is not like stuff that they make up. Sometimes guys just like, hey, I don't know if I can make it up until game time, and then they're listed as out like an hour before game time. That's something that happens. But if you had just made it so these dudes can't sit road games, or at least you better have a good fucking excuse if you sit road games, I think we probably wouldn't be having a lot of this conversation because it would be you couldn't play the why can't the fans see these guys on the road? They saved up that little Timmy can't see his favorite player.
but they also understand is the NBA has also forced the player's hand because remember when Greg Popovich was doing it was his rest. He brought the fines in, right?
Yeah.
Now players are simply saying, "Look, I've been playing injured, so I can." So you can't say I'm not sitting legitimately anymore because it's like, hey, you know what? I did hurt my wrist last week. X-rays were negative, but under doctor's orders, I should have been sitting for 2 weeks. I didn't. So now when that wrist injury happens, they go immediately on injury report, and then they're always questionable day-to-day game time up until the point of the game. That's how it's working back to the player's strengths. It's like, if you're going to fine us, then fine. Every time I get hurt, I am going on to the injury report, and they're going to list me as questionable or day-to-day. And if I feel like playing that game the next game, I will. And if I don't, I don't. Because AD and LeBron's been out several times this season. Did anyone see LeBron significantly get hurt this season at all?
And also, this goes back to a general thing in society. People don't actually want to be told the truth, man. Why I say that? When this stuff was happening, but they were putting the injury labels on, nobody cared. Mm-hmm. It was when Popovich was like, hey, fuck y'all, I don't care. I'll tell you the truth.
Right.
Niggas is resting.
Right.
If Pop or DNP old, as they once put on the fucking score sheet. Like, Pop would just be like, all right, man, he got a heel injury today, whatever.
Right.
We'll rest it up and see what happens. If you just kept doing that, we might still be doing the same shit.
But like, Pop got tired of hiding it.
Want honesty.
He's like, look, I got 3 guys over 35. What the fuck do you mean? I got to tell you what's wrong. They're over 35.
They're over fucking 35. I mean, I'm here to win a championship, not against the fucking Hornets in January, bro.
Right. So
we can probably get any fucking way. Like, that's the point.
Listen, we all getting old. You know what I mean? And sometimes, some of us when they get old become dads. So if you're an older guy like me and you're a dad, make sure you shop dadsarcool2.com with the promo code MIPod69 and get 10% off.
Look at the bad
your merch. Once again, dadsarcool2.com. Get yours today.
Look at the bad picture.
Moving on. Let's go to let's go to Super Bowl preview. We're not going to spend too much time on this because everybody spends a whole bunch of time on it. There's really not much to talk about, but we're gladly going to acquiesce to the people who want to hear us talk about it for a little bit. I don't really think there's a narrative or a title outside of Pat Mahomes, going for his 3rd ring, and San Francisco getting over the hump, I guess. You're going to try to make it about Purdy and Mahomes. There's no narrative. Like Kev said, this is a guy in the 2nd year. He was picked dead last. Is he even supposed to be here at this point in his career? No, right? So he's, I'm not going to say he's playing with house money because he's been good for the past 2 seasons. He shut up a lot of people. He'll shut everybody all the way the fuck up if he wins, especially in spectacular fashion. But outside of that, like there's no real storyline. You can try to create one, you can try to force one. There's no real storyline. And I think because it is San Francisco, a team that has been good the past 2 decades, have made it to a couple of Super Bowls, NFC championships, there's not really much to say. And of course, Pat Mahomes, his career arc being who the fuck he is, what else is left to say? Now, we'll say something that people probably heard of today is Pat Mahomes Sr. getting a DWI. And I'm saying this because there have been things. It was Andy Reid's son. It was last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
it was a couple of years back, I think. I remember what you're talking about. It was
Andy Reid's son, Pat Mahomes Sr. Who else? I think it was like somebody else got DWI or something like that. I think it was like 3 incidents. I don't know. I'm saying this, and this is why I'm saying this. Substance abuse, alcohol abuse is a thing. It is a thing. It is a real thing. And I think this is Pat Mahomes Sr.'s 3rd DWI or something like that. At least 3, right? And I know we like him for smoking whatever pack and whatever. And we think he's just this fun, fly guy. But that might be that's not no Mike. That's a man with a problem. And then of course, Jackson Mahomes facing what he's facing. That's a family with some internal things. But I'm saying that this is highlight that substance abuse is a real thing. And it's a dangerous thing, and it breaks apart families, tear apart homes, and it could change lives for the people drinking and the people not drinking. So my personal stance for this whole preview week, especially being in the city of sin in Las Vegas, and I'm pretty sure none of our fans are going to be there, but if any of our fans of our show are there, please be responsible Super Bowl weekend. Have your fun and don't go overboard. You know what I mean? We've lost a lot of people to drunk driving in lifetime. You know what I mean? We see what happened with Henry Ruggs in Vegas. You know what I mean? Incinerated a car and, killed a woman and her dog and stuff like that. And I think we take a lot of times to make jokes about certain things, but in this thing, and it kind of hits close to home for me, is just, it's sometimes people look from the outside like they're having a great time and we don't know what they're dealing with behind the scenes. And it seems like Pat Mahomes Sr. is dealing with a lot. You know what I mean? Since for his third. And I know we love him for representing the black culture because Pat Mahomes is biracial. We're not too sure if he's black or not. And we look at his black ass daddy and all the shit that he does. And that confirms it. He likes to get lit and smoke cigars. That confirms his blackness. But I think we need to take a step back and be like, all right, man, this guy needs serious help. So my prayers go out to the Mahomes family. And that's all I have for Super Bowl.
What I have for the Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes, if he wins, I don't get why they ever list Patrick Mahomes as an underdog in the playoffs anymore, to be honest. For me, he'd have to have one leg and both of his thumbs are just gone for me to even consider being like Patrick Mahomes cannot win this game. There's nothing at this point that he hasn't done in the playoffs. Nothing at all. Comebacks, double-digit comebacks, he's done that. 20-point comebacks, done that. They were fucking Kadarius, Tony, Sky Moore, and a bunch of NPCs, did that. What? Go on a road game with NPCs and win? What else can he do? What else can he do? That's pretty much what it is. It's until Patrick Mahomes proves he can't do it on a consistent basis, you can't really bet against him. And that's my take for Patrick Mahomes. The Niners, Marlon, shout out to Marlon for being a Niners fan. I know this is a big moment for you. I know. Damn. I know. I know after all the struggles with Jimmy G, you finally get to see Brock Purdy do his thing. But I still think it's going to be the Chiefs. I don't really have much to say. We know what it is. Patrick Mahomes is playing with NPCs. The Niners are a good team, but Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes until it's proven otherwise. That's all. And there is one thing I want to say. Please stop bitching about Taylor Swift. There are so many people out there who, I want to say this, there's so many people out here who are bitching like, oh my God, why are they showing Taylor Swift? Oh my God. And it's maybe 1 minute total throughout 2 games. It's just stop. She's watching the game. She's supporting her boyfriend. Please, just stop. She's just watching football. And that bothers you that much that she's watching football. She's not even saying anything problematic. She's not even saying anything. So it's
bro, that woman don't even want the camera on her. That's the funniest part about it.
Yes,
Jamie does some awkward shit when they put the camera in her face. And it's
yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Listen, man. Yeah. Do I think the Niners are a better team than the Chiefs? Yes. I think that there are matchups on both sides that the other can exploit. The Chiefs' run defense has been a problem all year. Now, are they willing to pay extra? Are they willing to pay extra resources to stop the run? And then if they do that, how does Brock Purdy in the pass catcher respond? There's a nice game of Kyle Shanahan versus Steve Spagnuolo is probably the best matchup of this weekend. This weekend. Yeah, it's probably the best matchup of this weekend. Steve Spags is probably the only legitimate guy where we could say playoff Spag is about a fucking defensive coordinator. He's legitimately the only one. He's been really good for a long time in high leverage spots. So that should be a fun matchup. What can be said about Patrick Mahomes that hasn't already been said? I don't have it. I don't have the words for it. I don't know what can be said that we haven't already heard. I've been saying this stuff about that guy for 5 years now. He won an MVP while also admitting he didn't fully understand how to read coverages, which is probably one of the most impressive things I've ever heard in my life. So he does what he does. I'm not going to say betting against him is a fool's errand. Like, we have seen him lose,
Mhm.
but I'm not prepared to bet against him in this spot either, because ultimately I think it's a 50-50 game, and I'm going to bet on the guy who might be the best player of all time when it's all said and done. So I think the Chiefs win in a narrow one. The Chiefs defense, I expect to. Brock Purdy's been running some hot interception luck for a long time. I expect that to finally stop. I think he throws
that guy.
I think he throws a critical one at some point in this game, and I think the Chiefs win like 27-24 or something like that.
I can see that. I mean, yeah, Brock Purdy's been like, he's had that Ryan Fitzpatrick luck from a few years back. Like, he's been begging to throw like some bad interceptions.
You just Mike.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I personally, I think San Francisco wins, and I'm going on a limb, and there's nothing against Mahomes. I just think it has to eventually end.
This man said he's going out on a limb by picking one team in the Super Bowl.
No, when I say going on a limb,
that's what he said.
When I say going on a limb, right? Yes, San Francisco's a favorite.
Yes, they are.
I'm not really going out on a limb per se.
Oh yeah, no shit.
But I'm saying it in this regards to what you guys are saying. I think Pat Mahomes has been skating by on one leg on a tightrope, and San Francisco.
Yeah, you've been saying this for 3 years. Go ahead.
Well, more so this year, but
last year.
Well, I mean, last year I was wrong because I wasn't really paying attention last year how good they were last year offensively. This year they weren't, so that held true. But I'm going to say this. I think Shanahan's going to game plan for CMC to be the primary guy. He's going to be the Super Bowl MVP, and has nothing to do with Brock Purdy. And if Brock Purdy gets MVP, it's because he executed all the screen passes and dump offs correctly. And they're going to run a pretty much heavy West Coast offense. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to do play actions, and they're going to throw the ball deep to Ayuk maybe once or twice. But they're not going to put him in a position to lose that game. And I'm going to say that because the Niners have lost in the Super Bowl in the weirdest ways. One being the blackout versus the Ravens, which was unexpected, but also
unexpected to us. Might not have been unexpected to the powers that be.
Right, they flipped that switch. But I think parity still kind of reigns true in the NFL, and Mahomes is going to have a super elite performance as well as Kelsey for them to win this game. It's not going to be 2017. It's not going to be a grind out game. I think it's going to be San Francisco is going to take their best shot early and try to put at least 14 on the board and dare Kansas City's defense to slow them down. And if they don't, it's going to get ugly sooner than later. And I think I miscalculated like that with the Broncos and Carolina when they crushed Cam Newton and when the Broncos got crushed by Seattle when it was kicking Brady kicking Manning's ass. I don't think I'm gonna miscalculate this season. I'm gonna give San Francisco an easy Super Bowl win.
Oh
yeah,
congrats to Marlon in that case. I do have one last funny thing to say. Thank God Josh Allen is not in the Super Bowl, because I would have watched the Nickelodeon coverage of the Super Bowl. Josh Allen was in the Super Bowl, because hearing Tony Romo doing the Gluck Gluck 5000 for Josh Allen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, thank you, Patrick Mahomes.
Is he using two hands, Jude?
He might be using his feet at this point. At this point, he might be using his feet. Forget hands. It's gone past hands. It's gone past his hands now.
That's a perfect soundbite. Thank you for that, Jude. And our final topic, man, the coaching carousel continues. NFL offseason for coaches have been very weird this season. I don't think we really got into how deeply weird it's gotten. Let's start with the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans fired Vrabel. All his assistants are gone, and all of his assistants has gotten jobs. All of them. You know who hasn't gotten a job? Mike fucking Vrabel. He's too jacked. Well, that's what we're about to get into, right? Because a report. I don't think you say a report or whatever. It's an interview with Rossini and who else? It was Rossini and somebody else that he was talking to.
I don't recall.
I remember who it was. Right?
It was a podcast. Yep.
It was a podcast, and they were talking about what's going on, why Vrabel was getting hired. I wish we had the audio. We should have the audio. We got to do better next time. Well, pretty much, Rossini says an exec said at the Senior Bowl, right? I believe, that Vrabel is a massive man. Pause. And he intimidates execs, and the dude, whoever she was talking to, couldn't believe that was the thing. She's like, "No, it's true. That's what I was told." And I was like, and I'm listening to this, and I'm like, "What in the cuck is going on?" Because for that to be a thing, right? Like a realistic thing, we'd have to really look back at all the coaches who were former players, all the players who wanted to go negotiate and get better contracts. And you mean to tell me Mike Vrabel is so massive and so huge? Pause. That an exec, because
can't even get this out,
bro. Just repeating it like, yo, he's so. What does that mean? What does that mean? Like Vrabel walks into the GM's office and rips the door off the hinges and I want a quarterback. Like what the fuck? Like what the fuck is what are we talking about? Vrabel was in Tennessee for what, 5 seasons? They had a brand new GM. He didn't intimidate him because he fired his ass. Clearly, right?
Like that's the crazy thing about this is like people know he was a football player, right? He's not going to become super skinny once he stops playing football. He's probably going to stay in shape, lift weights, and he's going to look like a football player still. People are like shocked. Listen. Like they must be intimidated. Like Antonio Pierce comes in, or like I don't know. I'm trying to think of other form. Like it's crazy.
Listen, man. Dan Campbell's bigger than that dude just got hired. Nobody trying to hear this, bro. Like all they're doing. Mike Vrabel is a darling in media and general public circles. So all they're trying to do is explain away why he didn't get a fucking job. Because if we want to go there, Eric Bieniemy, who we're going to bring up soon, has been looking for a head coaching job for 12 years, and we don't get these. You get the blanket he didn't interview well, which could mean any fucking thing, really. Yeah. You get that. You don't get nothing else. The minute Mike Vrabel's a free agent coaching hire, we watched like 6 different teams hire coaches. None of them hired him, and now it's he's too big. He's too massive. Like, could it be that he's a massive asshole? That could be that could be what's at play here. That probably is more likely than wow, he's swole. Brother, he played in the NFL like 15 years ago. Like, what did you expect? They knew what his size was. They knew what his size was when they fucking hired him the first time. Right. And he has 5 years since. And now we're doing he walks in the room and he's just big. Like what? Right. Like he's just swole. He's massive and it's intimidating. Right. Again, Dan Campbell just got a fucking job. Right. So Antonio Pierce got a job. Like granted, he ain't 6'4", but he's swole as shit.
He played what, outside linebacker? He
played middle linebacker. Yeah, he's big. He's a large gentleman. Right. So this whole Vrabel not getting a job, like she's talking about, she got that from a GM, and it's like I think that part's cap. Like I think she got that directly from Mike Vrabel. Explain why you didn't get a job, right? We saw like 4 different unproven guys get jobs. We saw unproven black head coaches get jobs. Yes. So Mike Vrabel damn sure got to explain why couldn't I get one. Right. And granted, it says a lot about Mike Vrabel. He couldn't come up with something better than that.
Right. I think his execs are intimidated by me.
I think they're intimidated by me. Like, that's why you interviewed poorly, and they all were like, no thanks, but no thanks. Bye. Right. Like that's why even with your great resume, because I've been beaten over the head with that shit for weeks. Right. Like that one playoff run new GM is going to last a lifetime.
Yeah, your new GM seen what, 1 season, 2 seasons, and you said that's enough. We're done. That's enough.
Right.
Like it wasn't like
right. And the new GM wanted to sell off their old ancient pieces last offseason. And Mike was like, no, I think I could win. Then they won 6 games. So you tell me.
Right.
You tell me. But the problem here is that Mike Vrabel works out too much.
He's too
That's
massive.
the problem here.
He's got the roids.
That's the problem here. Yeah, I'm sure that came from a GM. And by the way, listen, it's possible it did. It's possible that did come from a GM. That GM is either lying or pussy. There's no in between. It's one of the two. Lying or a pussy. There's no in between. None.
Right.
It's one of the two. He just didn't want to say on record like, yo, he's a dickhead.
And
Because
the fact
typically
that
they don't really say
like,
that about coaching candidates. They don't really just go out there and air them out like that.
The fact that Rossini was trying to, the psychology of it though, men are intimidated by taller men and blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, I'm 5'11". You mean to tell me? I'm like, yeah, it sounds stupid. Yeah, can somebody being bigger than you intimidate you? Like, hey, you're walking to a room. Of course, like somebody's bigger than you.
Yeah, it intimidates you when it's the wrong person. Yeah,
right. But still, you think Vrabel's walking in and crushing apples with his bare hands, talking about give me a 5-year contract, and like, bro, if you're that intimidated, you'd hire him, right? If he's like
crushing beer cans, apparently that's what he's doing when he walking in.
Yeah, what's he gonna do? Get the job and then shit on your desk and be like, yo, this is my team now? Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, I'm just saying, like the shit, like I'm thinking of the most Neanderthal garbage that could possibly happen for Mike Vrabel to be so intimidating that he can't get a job.
It's so ludicrous. Like, just you saying this over, and it's just like, I can't believe someone actually told a reporter that. Like,
and I can't believe she said it.
Of all the things, it's like you couldn't say anything else. Like, maybe he's an asshole.
Thanks, Mike.
The wrong way.
Right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you for leaking that on your own behalf. Appreciate it.
Other things going on. Okay, so the Raiders were supposed to be bringing on Cliff Kingsbury. Kingsbury. I said Killingsburg, whatever. Cliff Kingsbury. And he says, thanks, but no thanks, and goes to Washington. The Raiders then turn around and hire Getsy, who was the former offensive coordinator in Chicago. I don't understand why they would hire Getsy after what he did with Fields, but that killed the idea of Fields, that the Raiders were interested in trading for Fields, apparently. And now it also kills the idea that Caleb Williams is going to Chicago. I've had a lot of people telling me that Caleb Williams wants nothing to do with Chicago, and Cliff going to the Commanders puts them in a position to either trade with Chicago for the #1 spot, or basically Caleb Williams to come out there vocally say, which he kind of been like low key, but he believe it or not said. And I think it was maybe last month. He did say from before that if he doesn't like the team that has the #1 overall pick, he's not going to want to go. And it seems like if this is starting to ring true. Kev, do you think the Cliff move was an intentional move to sabotage this whole thing and have a shot to, coach him offensively in Washington?
No. Also, like, correct me if I'm wrong here. What, the Commanders are a joke, no? Like, what do we like? You don't want to go to the Bears. Understood. Like, you don't have to sell me on that. I understand that perfectly clear. Brother, the alternative here, at least in this specific argument, is the Commanders. So, like, and by the way, like, if you look at Caleb's tape, a lot of that shit is just him running around making shit happen. Now, one could say that's a red flag. I'm not here to argue. I'm not a college expert. One could say that's a red flag. Fine. I think it is too, to an extent. But like the way the offense worked, why would Caleb sign up for that in the NFL? Like, that's the problem. Cliff was there. He's done this already. Why would he sign up for that? Like, why would that be a selling point is what I am unclear on. Cliff clearly knows offense. I think he's a little bit overrated in that regard because I watched a lot of them Cardinals games. I don't know what y'all saw that was that impressive. I watched a lot of them Cardinals games. Like, it was a lot of the same repetitive bullshit over and over and over. And it was like, yo, Kyler, go do shit. It was what felt like the entire offense was at its core. So like, I'm not sure why he would do that. I think a lot of this is much ado about nothing because guess what? If the Bears take Caleb Williams, what is he going to do?
Nothing.
Play for the Bears. That's what he's going to. That's what he's going to do. He doesn't have a choice. They take him in and say, "Hey, fuck you, go play." What is he going to do? He has nothing to do but to go fucking play. The same 2004.
He's not
Eli Manning came in and was like, "Brother, I'm not playing for you," and then happened to have an alternative that worked for both sides because San Diego got their quarterback, New York got their quarterback. San Diego got paid. They got paid richly for it with like other picks. One of them ended up being Sean Merriman, if I'm not mistaken, on down the line. So it worked for both parties. Chicago is like this idea that there's a debate whether they're going to keep Justin Fields is ludicrous to me. Brother, the GM that they have now didn't draft Justin Fields for one. For two, we still have no idea if Justin Fields is good. He's about to be in year fucking 4. We don't know if he's good. I'm not saying the man is bad. I ain't saying the man is good. We don't know what the fuck he is. And you're about to have to pay him soon. Mm-hmm. And you could take Caleb Williams, who is a better prospect than Fields was, and you could restart the fucking quarterback clock. Oh, Caleb Williams is a better prospect than Justin Fields was. You don't got to look at me like that.
I'm thinking, and I'm just like he was a better prospect. I'm not going to hunt him.
At a minimum, he's comparable. And
I was comparable. I don't think he was better.
He's younger. He's younger than him, and obviously, again, you reset the financial clock. While we don't necessarily care about that shit, NFL teams certainly fucking do. And obviously, like the Bears also have another top 10 pick they can use to help Caleb Williams. Either way, a lot of this is much ado about nothing, and there's so much misinformation going on about Caleb Williams. It makes me hate people in general because it's like, guys, that's clearly a fucking parody account. Like, I'm in a group chat where I've seen so many fake Caleb Williams quotes that I fucking going insane. Like it feels like it's like at least once a month where it's like, yo, can you believe Caleb? No, I can't because he fucking didn't. He didn't say it. It's some fucking parody account. He didn't fucking say nothing. But the Bears are gonna take Caleb Williams.
Listen, he did congratulate Cliff Kingsbury for getting the job. So,
so he's a nice kid. All right, good for him.
I mean, he's
a nice kid.
Listen, Cliff.
I'd like to hear it.
Cliff has a hard on for the guys he's coached. That's why he took Kyler Murray. So if this is if Washington's trying to sweeten the pot and say, hey, because let's think about it like this. What did it do from the Lions say that Washington is a bunch of basketball guys? They don't know what they're doing, blah, blah,
blah. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly, right? And we were just talking about how way the NBA execs kind of do things for their players because whatever. If this is an NBA type move, who knows? It might be saying, hey, you know what? We do want Caleb, and Chicago's on the fence of what they're about to do. And of course, teams know a little bit more about what the opposition is going to do. Maybe it was a hire like that. Why would Cliff pivot from a team that's a game away from the playoffs with a coach that everyone likes, with better weapons on offense, to go to a franchise who's recovering from
money,
a racist scandal, a sex trafficking scandal.
Money,
everything.
Money.
Listen, money is a motivator. I get that,
for sure.
But after the money, because we don't know the amount exactly.
I mean, to be fair, they're picking number 2 in the draft. Yeah, so they're going to get a quarterback. Maybe like it doesn't have to be Caleb Williams. Now, sure, is there a world where the Bears look around and think, all right, we think Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels or Drake May are both, like, let's say, separated by not so much, right? Mm-hmm. Could they then just trade down from 1 to 2? Yeah, that's possible. Like, I ultimately, given how people smarter than me talk about Caleb Williams, I don't think that's happening. I think the Bears are going to take him. And whatever bullshit he has to work through to get to the point where he wants to play for the Bears, he's gonna have to work through it because they don't owe him anything. They don't owe him shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears are in a good position, Jude. Right? I'm about to throw you the question. They're in a good position, and this is a position I think that they're in. If they're going to make 2 trades, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. They're about to get a bunch of capital. Mm-hmm. If they're moving on from Fields, they got to trade Fields. If they're not taking Caleb Williams number 1, they're going to get more capital for trade number 1. Mm-hmm. With all that being said, how can Chicago fuck this up?
That's a good question. Let's see. How can Chicago fuck this up? It's quite easy, really. They randomly take, I don't know, Jaden McDaniels number 1 or something. I said Jaden McDaniels, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Who's that?
And that's probably not his name. And I'm not.
It's not. Jalen Daniels.
Jalen Daniels.
I don't know what Jalen McDaniels is. I think that's an NBA player.
Yes.
So if they take an NBA player number 1, they fucked up. Yes, you're right. Correct.
They reach for a quarterback. Let's just say generically, they reach for a quarterback. They make a massive reach for a quarterback, and they take they take like a DT with their other pick. That could be one way they fuck it up. I've seen that happen many times before. I don't know where.
Mike
but I've seen that
McCagnon is
happen.
one of the Bears.
I'm just saying that
Loser.
could happen. But besides that, I mean, damn, I can't really think of anything. I think the thing they could fuck up as well is by hanging on to Justin Fields too long because, like Kev said, it's year 4. At some point, you got to commit one way or another, and you don't want him to be in that purgatory. It's like he has to pretty much suck or be very good. Because if they commit to him past that 5th year, I think things could get fucked up a little bit. That's just my hot take.
I'm going to remain on top of the fact that I feel like the Bears are in the catbird seat, and regardless of what they do, they will get even more picks and have more capital. And the only way they fuck it up is because their GM is a dickhead, and that's the only reason they can fuck it up. But in this position, bro, it's a win-win-win. Yeah. I don't see them. If you stick with Justin Fields and you trade a number 1 pick, I don't see how you lose. You have capital for the future, regardless, and you have another pick. I still believe, regardless of how the Bears slice it, they can either keep Fields and get a bunch of capital and build a crazy team, or they could trade Fields and trade the number 1 pick because he's not going to be combined in that trade unless some team gets really ridiculous. And they're gonna have a bunch of. They're gonna have more than enough value. If they fuck it up this year, they have more picks for the future to try to fuck it up again. But if the Bears are not a perennial contender, and within the next 5 years, we'll know. Because I'm just saying, in this, because has any other team been in this position as Chicago?
I mean, Chicago's about to get one up by Green Bay for the 100th year in a row, and they're about to have the Lions right there with them too. So it's very likely they're not going to be these contenders at this point. Like they had this tiny window, super tiny of this past year, and it's gone because Jordan Love. Not really.
Yeah,
we don't because we don't know what the Lions are going to be. How long? We know that they're good. We know how long this window for the Lions seemed that small. But with all the draft capital that the Bears have, I don't think it's a small window. Because even if you let's for argument's sake, they take Caleb Williams, they trade us to Fields, whatever. They have all these picks. They get, let's say they get Marvin Harrison Jr. or somebody else who play wide receiver, whatever. They have 4 years to figure it out, right? Yeah. To put something together. If you fire the GM and fire the coach and bring somebody else, if you feel he's the right fit, somebody's going to walk into a situation like, yo, I have everything I want plus a young quarterback. I don't see how they lose unless they completely just go right, or left, whichever direction you feel, where they just fuck everything off. Because it's going to be too hard to fuck it off. Like you really have to be like John Idzik. You really have to fuck it all off. Like, you know what I mean?
John Idzik,
or be Mike McCagnon.
Or be Mike McCagnon. You know what I mean? Like, this
bum.
Yeah. So
now I will say this. I'm going to divert the topic a little bit because I'm shocked you haven't mentioned this tragedy that's happened in the coaching cycle. So
am I going to? But let me get my meat ready. Go ahead.
What happened with Bill Belichick?
Mute. I knew it. Mute. I knew it.
Mute him again.
I knew it. Bill Belichick. I knew it, bro. Like we're not talking about Bill Belichick.
Let's be thankful Case got those powers. I don't. I'd be beating your ass 35 times a show, bro. I wouldn't let you talk for shit.
It's over. It's over. It's over. You're like, I know. He's going to come home. No, he's not. The Jets are not going to hire him. It's over. It's done. If he gets a job next year, God bless him. I hope everyone is.
Belichick will be on a podcast with Julia Edelman in no time.
Right. You'll get him talking about some shit and get some I guess, I don't know, some potpourri random shit about himself he's gonna talk about. No one wants Bill Belichick to coach anymore. He's done. Bill wants to coach because he wants the all-time record. Some team is going to be dumb enough to say, all right, Bill, come on, and we're gonna hire you. And
it might be the Jets, bro. You never know.
Come home.
I'll say
it might be the Jets.
I'll say this much. Because somebody asked me a question about the Jets coaching in front office, and this is not a secret. If the Jets don't make the playoffs this year, everyone is gone. So if you want Bill Belichick, Jude, if you want him here, be the hater, the feet sweat, the man-on-man dreamer you are, and root against everything Jets.
And just understand, if I
Oh,
gotta sit here all year and hear about how this is part of this is part of a bigger plan, I'm not gonna be on the show, dog. Like, I'm flat out telling you this from now. If I gotta hear it's a part of a bigger plan, come home. I'm not gonna be on the show, dog. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to that shit every fucking week. Like, I
Come
really want to
on.
talk about the Jets as the fuck is.
Yo,
You think I want to hear about Bill? But if they lose, we're 6 losses closer to
I'm
Bill
right,
Belichick
bro.
coming from Mr. Winning his aphrodisiac.
I'm right.
I'm
there.
not gonna be on the show. I'm
The
not
show's
gonna
over.
be here. Word to Magic Johnson. I'm not gonna be
show's
here.
over.
I'm not gonna be here. Nope. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to that shit. Nope.
No, nobody wants to hear
Nope.
that. But do you know what people love to hear?
Uh-oh.
It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Pull up a seat and get off your feet for Jude's Grooves.
Yes, sir. It's the groovy one. Jude, you are in for a treat. Fans of the Middle Show Podcast, you're in for the treat if you made it this far. It's time for Jude's Grooves. Take it away.
Okay. Dog. I meet bitches. Discreet bitches. Street bitches / Cocoa Puffs, sweet bitches. What? Make you want to eat bitches, but not me. Yo, niggas, eat off the plate all you want, but not deep. That's literally me too. I fucks with these hoes from a distance. The instant they start to catch feelings, I start to steal and they shit. Then I'm out just like a thief in the night. I sink my teeth into bite. What the fuck is he talking about? He's thinking life. I'm thinking more like, what's up tonight? Come on, ma. You know I got a wife. And even though that pussy tight, I'm not going to jeopardize my life. So what is it you want from a nigga? What? I gave you. You gave me. Bitch.
Gave,
I
bro?
blazed you.
Gave?
What?
Gave, bro? What?
Sorry.
Gave? What the
Gave you.
fuck was
I gave-
that?
What the fuck?
I gave you. You gave me. Bitch. I blazed you. You blazed me. Come on. Nothing more, nothing less. But you at my door willing to confess that it's the best you've ever tested. All right. No, Ite. Better than all the rest. I'm like, Ite, girlfriend, hold up. I gave you what you gave me. Ooh, a nut. Tell me. Oh, Jesus. There was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, okay. Dawn, LaShawn, Enos, and Alicia. Ooh. Teresa, Monica, Sharon, Nikki, Lisa, Veronica, Karen, Vicky, damn. Cookie, well, I met her in an ice cream parlor. Right. Tonya, Diane, Lori, and Carla, okay. Marina, Selena, Katrina, Sabrina, about 3 Kims. What? Latoya and Tina. Ooh. Shelly, Bridget, Kathy, Rashida. Kelly, Nicole, Angel, Juanita? Damn. Stacy, Tracy, Rana and Rhonda. What? Donna, Yolanda. What? Taiwana and Wanda. What? We're all treated fairly, but yet and still, bitches on some other shit. Now that I'm fucking with Drew Hill. Come on. But I'm gonna keep it real. What? What the fuck you want from a nigga? What the fuck you want from a nigga? Yeah. What these bitches want from a nigga? What you want? What these bitches want from a nigga? Really want? What these bitches want from a nigga? Yeah. Baby, I keep you up on it. Yeah. Bling blinging all that jewelry, girl. I brought it. What these bitches want from a nigga? I.O. Tell me what you want from me. Baby, tell me what you want from me. So what you want? Is this your Mets?
Yes, bro. He said his
Okay.
name for the fucking song.
Yo, why are you reading the ad-libs?
Yeah, I actually listened to that. So once I got to all the names, I'm like, this sounds pretty familiar.
You
But
sound
yeah,
like
I took all.
You sound like you were fed up trying to read all the names.
And it was getting crazy. I mean, what was it? Juanita was probably the one. I'm just like, okay.
It's a common name.
That's a very common name.
It's a very common Hispanic name.
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, it wasn't
That
crazy.
was Michael Jordan's name. Was it Michael Jordan's wife name Juanita?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, these weren't super crazy, so I'm thankful, Kev. Thank you for giving me not a super crazy song. It's just a lot of names.
I take that personally.
No, I mean that's good. I like
Personally.
to.
If you like
I don't
it, I don't
mind.
like it.
I mean, I've listened to this
If you
before.
like
Once
it,
I
don't
read,
like
I'm
it.
like,
No, I want you to squirm. So I take that
mean,
personally.
every time I'm saying nigga, I kind of do squirm because I don't.
Yo,
I don't.
yeah, what I think
I
he's
don't
going to
feel-
do, he's going to say everything loud and go, nigga. He does it like he's like, nigga.
Bro, he say nigga like he trying to tell somebody a secret.
Yeah. What these bitches doing from a nigga. Oh man. All right, guys. It's been a good show. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this long, make sure you follow us on social media, MIPod69, on Twitter and on Instagram. TikTok has some new rules, but still follow us on TikTok. They're copyright striking a lot of music, so don't look for music on our posts anymore because they're copyrighting everything. So middle_initial_pod on TikTok. Make sure you follow Kevin Lewis at KLEW24 and listen to the podcast, The Only Two Teams That Matter, on the Underdog Fantasy Network with Coley, Mick, and of course, follow the groovy one, Jude Truth at Jude Truth. And that's about it. We'll be back next week after the Super Bowl to discuss, I guess, the game and everything like that. Any final thoughts from anyone?
Go Chiefs.
Get over Taylor Swift. Deal with her.
Go Chiefs.
I hate Taylor Swift. She making people think swag surfing is something new. And I hate Travis Kelce because he's gentrifying the fade.